Should Something Be Missing? By RDT. Pinkie Pie woke up today feeling lazy. That in itself was not unusual. Pinkie didn't consider herself a morning pony anyways. The scent of yesterday's cupcake still faintly wafted up from the shop below. The mirror reflected her own visage, the soft morning light giving it an ethereal look as it had always done. The clock ticked steadily onwards. But today, something was different, for Pinkie wondered about not having a nose. Just imagine it, she thought to herself as she looked into that small makeup mirror on her bedside table. Not that she often used makeup. She was generally comfortable with how she looked. Rather, she had looked into the mirror every morning, framed by that warm glow of the dawn, as a reminder. It was easy for Pinkie to lose herself in the life of the party, have all of her worries melt away, and for a short time became the party. But too many saw her as nothing else, and she was afraid that she would ever see herself in the same monotone way, as nothing but an addict of fun. But in the mirror, with her mane seeming to glow, she understood something, that every pony's sparkle shifted depending on the light. The mirror would serve a different purpose today though, as Pinkie waved a hoof in front of where her nose was, and she imagined it would be covering nothing, just empty space between her hoof and her head, without a knob of flesh getting in the way of things. The lighting helped with that, and she giggled. And yet there was no reason. Every pony had a nose, did they not? But, tapping the tip of her snout, she couldn't help but think she'd rather have felt nothing there. It didn't make sense. She had a nose. She didn't get to just not have one. But, let's just play pretend. I can pretend, right? Yes? No? Maybe? She returned to the mirror, but there was more than just not seeing it now. She would not feel it on her face. She would no longer smell. Her breath no longer had to flow. Why did she feel content? Her reason eluded her, but she stared into the mirror, transfixed by the concept of a Pinkie Pie without a nose. Wait! There was that one time with Trixie and a magic jewel, right? But she could no longer remember why she had been so angry and terrified. Then, like the sun which inevitably came over the horizon, she understood. Until today, she had not known Pinkie Pie. That nose was not a part of her, despite how other ponies had seen her, and perhaps might still see her. She finally understood herself. She would show them. If only I could go back. I wonder if Trixie could do it again, or maybe Twilight. She's the super duper magic expert after all. But Twilight, she remembered, was currently on an excursion to study the mirror pool, and had expected to be gone for several days. I guess I'll have to wait, she thought. Her hopes evaporated. The scent of cupcakes taunted her. But then Pinkie had another thought. What if I didn't have a right foreleg? She knew immediately where she would remove it. 2 hoof widths below the elbow, just a hair above the top of her knee. She wouldn't have to drag it around with her. It wouldn't get in the way of her baking whenever she needed to open the oven or measure the ingredients. It would be liberating. She imagined herself wearing a prosthetic, but mere imagination was not enough for her. She grabbed a pencil and a piece of paper. The right forehoof kept the paper steady on the bedside table as she used her mouth to draw. A circle here, a line there, and slowly the image took shape. She looked at it, and tears came to her eyes. Yet, like last time, the euphoria was short-lived. What if I didn't even have ears? Then the morning would be quiet. She wouldn't hear the rattle of carts being pulled along the street, or the sound of some confused would-be customer ringing the shop bell. Songbirds would just be birds, and the ticking of the clock would stop. Such a wonderful silence, yet Pinkie wanted more, or maybe it was less. What if I couldn't feel anything at all? As if she was an immaterial wisp floating through the air. Something was wrong. Something was wrong. Pinkie had never felt like this before. It was wrong that she could feel so right. Maybe Twilight could help. She's the expert on this sort of thing after all. But Twilight, she remembered, was studying the mirror pool. Wait, I knew that, didn't I? She shook her head. Everything was slipping away from her. She looked into the mirror again, trying to regain that sense of clarity from earlier in the morning. It didn't work. Twilight was gone, and somehow Pinkie felt that it was important. Something clicked for her. What if I'm a clone? But that didn't make sense at all. Twilight's watching paint dry test should have made sure that I was the real Pinkie Pie, right? Then again, I overheard that one Pinkie Pie who hadn't been sure if she was a clone or not either. Now that she thought about it, that test wasn't the most convincing method. Maybe she can invent a spell for it. With all the research she's been doing, it'd be really nice to know for sure. But that was so long ago, and even if she was a clone, it didn't explain why everything only started this morning. Twilight's there. If she accidentally did something to the pool itself, who knows? Pinkie looked at herself in the mirror, and she could imagine that she wasn't even there. Or maybe I'm just going crazy.